Oh my gosh. Kevin Durant has requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. This comes just a few days after Kyrie Irving decided to opt in for the Brooklyn Nets, his 1 year deal. He'll opt in. But now it looks like both Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving will now be traded from the Nets. We have to talk about it. This is in freaking insane after the bumper. What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? My name is JeffLightsy Jr. here at the Black Balls channel of Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and notification bell because we upload every single day. And Kevin Durant, he is leaving per Woj and Shams. He has requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. They bringing folks off vacation. Stephen A. Smith's on vacation. He had to make a special appearance. You got everybody thinking about their best trade packages and what they can offer, whose contracts won't allow them to be traded. But let me give you the gist. So according to the reports, actually, let's just read the ESPN article together. Come on, let's take a look. This is via ESPN. Let me go. Let's take it right here. Let's do it like this. It says Kevin Durant, franchise star Kevin Durant has requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets on Thursday. His business manager, Rich Kleinman, told Adrian Wojnarowski. Nets general manager Sean Marks is working with Durant and Kleinman on finding a trade, Kleinman told ESPN. The Nets, however, are not beyond honoring any of Kevin Durant's preferred destinations and plan to make a deal that allows them the greatest return of assets, sources told ESPN. Durant made the trade request directly to owner Joe Tsai on Thursday as the Nets prepare to move on from the NBA's one of the NBA's most valuable trade assets ever. The entire roster will be available to discuss in deals, sources told ESPN. Teams have been calling on Durant, and the Nets certainly will look for an historic return of players and draft picks. The Phoenix Suns and the Miami Heat are two of the teams that Kevin Durant has on his wish list, sources told ESPN. As Durant has 4 years left on his contract, there's no shortage of teams willing to unload assets for him. The 33-year-old Durant, a 12-time All-Star, 4-time league scoring champion, has 4 years and nearly $200 million remaining on his contract, including $44 million for next season. He won't become an unrestricted free agent again until 2026. He and Kyrie Irving had no contact with the Nets after Irving opted into his $37 million deal on Monday and made sense of the inevitable existed that Durant would eventually ask for a trade, sources told ESPN. The Nets picked by many before the season to win the NBA championship, finished 44-38. Good for 7th place in the Eastern Conference and a playoff berth solidified by a play-in win over the Cleveland Cavaliers. But then they were bounced in the first round by the Boston Celtics and were the only team this year to get swept. The Nets. Think about this. In 1 year's time, the Nets went from having James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and then in about a week, probably in the next few days, they will have none of them. That is probably the most epic disaster, the most epic failure in the history of the NBA. I can't think of another time that a super team was formed like this, and you didn't get anything out of it. Like, you literally didn't get anything out of it. You didn't get any conference finals appearances. You didn't get any NBA finals appearances. Hell, you barely got all 3 of the guys playing on the same team at the same time on the court together. This is a disaster of epic proportions. But here's the thing. The Nets can make it right. Now, there's a bunch of trade packages floating out there. You got to remember, there's a couple of things to remember. Because the Nets traded for James Harden, you got to remember, just last year they traded for James Harden, they sent a ton of their assets to Houston. So Houston controls the Nets draft for the next 5 years. They sent 5 picks and or swaps. So they can either take the Nets pick or swap with the next over the course of the next 5 years. So that is something to think about. So it benefits the Nets not at all to tank, right? If you trade Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, you think, a team wants to tank. No, it doesn't benefit them to tank because those picks are unprotected. And if they end up being awful, well, then Houston gets that. So it doesn't benefit them to tank. So it benefits them to get the best possible player back in return, or number of players in return for Kevin Durant and or Kyrie Irving as well. So the number one thing, especially when you see those destinations, you think Phoenix, DeAndre Ayton, Cam Johnson, a couple, some first round picks. That ain't cutting it for me if I'm Brooklyn. I mean, that I understand what Phoenix is saying. They're going to lose DeAndre Ayton, it looks like, no matter what. But DeAndre Ayton is not a piece that you trade for for freaking Durant. Like, it's just not DeAndre Ayton, not Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson he's cool. DeAndre Ayton, I know what I'm going to get out of him. He's not one of these, like, I get it. The big man is back as far as the MVP voting, Joel Embiid, Jokic, but he ain't none of them. He ain't those type of players. He's more of a traditional back to the basket, and he's not even that efficient of a scorer. He's not even like that imposing as a big man. He's not even that disruptive as a defender. He doesn't block shots like the legendary centers of the past, the Shaqs, the Patrick Ewings, the David Robinsons, et cetera, et cetera. And he's not as good as the modern day big men, the Nikola Jokic's, the Joel Embiid's, the Giannis's, the Evan Mobley's, et cetera, et cetera. So he's not as good as them. He's not as good as them. He's kind of in between. He's a good player, but he ain't worth no damn Kevin Durant. Not even a 33-year-old Kevin Durant. He's not worth that. So that's out the question. Another thing that a lot of people have brought up online is that the NBA salary cap wouldn't allow Brooklyn to trade, because the Miami was the other team, wouldn't allow Brooklyn to trade for Bam Adebayo because both Bam and Ben Simmons would both be on rookie extension deals. Now, because of weird NBA rules, you can't trade for two guys that are currently on the rookie extension deals, according to the reports and according to some of the stuff that I'm reading. So since Bam just signed a rookie extension and Ben Simmons signed a rookie extension, they can't trade and have both of those guys. They can't trade for both of those guys. Just that's the way the NBA works. So Bam is out the question. Well, hell. So that means a Miami deal, because Miami was the other preferred destination, would have to center around Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Max Strus, and some picks that they have. It ain't cutting it neither. Like, it's not cutting it. Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, that ain't getting you no damn Kevin Durant. Now, Rob Lowe, what's his name, Rob Lowe? Zach Lowe, that's his name. His name, Rob Lowe's the actor. Zach Lowe from ESPN said, I'm calling teams that have dudes under 22 that are talented. I'm calling teams with young players in the NBA and trying to create packages around them. And that makes a lot of sense. He mentioned calling Toronto Scotty Barnes, seeing if you could package something with Scotty Barnes and see it Toronto, because those teams, even if they lose that young centerpiece that could potentially be a superstar, and we're not saying they're going to be, but they have the potential. You ain't no superstar potential in DeAndre Ayton, but in Scotty Barnes there is. And even if Toronto trades away Scotty Barnes, you can keep Van Vliet, you got Siakam, and maybe Anunoby, and you pair that with Kevin Durant, and you're looking pretty sweet. He also mentioned the Cleveland Cavaliers and packaging something around Evan Mobley. And maybe, something else. If Evan Mobley has superstar potential written all over him, he's more of that new breed center. Not the old school center like DeAndre Ayton. He's the new breed center, and he's on the upper echelon of talent of the new breed center. You package something around Cleveland. Now, granted, it's not a luxurious destination like Phoenix or Miami, but if you put Kevin Durant next to Darius Garland, next to Jared Allen, next to Karis LeVert, next to Kevin Love, you're cooking with grease in Cleveland. Over in the Eastern Conference will be... teams will be shaking shit. They see Cleveland with KD and Garland and Allen, who are all-stars, with Karis LeVert, who can get you 18 to 20 a night. That looks pretty freaking good to me. Now, you're losing your future in Evan Mobley, but you still got some really, really talented players. It looks good. He also mentioned Zion Williamson and the Pelicans. You trade Zion, you pair Kevin Durant with McCollum, with Ingram. That's looking all right to me. That's McCollum, Ingram, Kevin Durant in the Western Conference. I think they could beat Phoenix. They're better than Dallas. They're better than Phoenix. They'd have a fight with the Warriors. I don't know if they're better than the Warriors, but they'd give them a damn good fight. With some of the young players that they have down in New Orleans as well. Maybe you send Dyson Daniels off. Maybe you Herb. He's like your Draymond. It's a bunch of Man, it's so crazy, man. And you know they have the assets, the picks. They can send EJ Liddell and Dyson Daniels out to Brooklyn, bring in Kevin Durant and all those other future picks that you got from Anthony Davis and from trading all these different guys. I don't know, but Kevin Durant has requested a trade, something we did not see happening. I can't believe it's happening. This is wild. The Brooklyn Nets are about to lose James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving in a matter of 6 months. Crazy. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Kevin Durant has requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie Irving will be next. Who knows what the trade offers are going to be for Kyrie Irving. And another thing I found interesting before I get out of here, actually, the fact that I thought this was actually comical. Woj went on TV and said Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving still would like to play with each other, just not in Brooklyn. Now, who in the hell would try to acquire both Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving after what they just watched in Brooklyn? I just seen this movie in Brooklyn. It didn't work. Now, why in the world would I want both of y'all on my damn team to come blow my stuff up? I see what y'all doing in Brooklyn. Y'all blowing the spot up over in Brooklyn. You're not going to come to my franchise and do the same damn thing. We're not even based in New York, where Kyrie's from and where Kevin Durant has built a media empire. We're not even based there. You think you about to come to my organization and do that? Go on somewhere. My name's Jeff Lightsy Jr., man. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.